Hello, beautiful wild woman. Welcome back to the Wild Woman podcast. I am your host, Hanna, and so delighted to welcome you back into this sacred space, sacred energy that is always in pursuit of your depth, truth, and inner wisdom. Today, I have been thinking about very certain stories, topics. There is this theme in the air at the moment, and it is obviously very self-reflective because most of the things I mentor people on, teach people about is my own lived experience with similar things, and my own lived experience is my biggest source of my wisdom. This is my gold mine, and I wish that for womanhood. I wish that for people, that they see that their own life lessons, their own wisdom, their own life experience is also this gold mine that we can always refer back to and keep taking energy from. Doesn't have to be this thing that weighs us down and is this thing we try not to look at or we try to avoid. The more we own our past, the more we can own this moment here right now, the present moment, and also create future with greater awareness, with our choice, with a lot of options, with a lot of energy and drive and wisdom behind it as well. And because I'm a women's mentor, I hear so many stories on a daily basis. And a lot of these stories that women tell me start the same way. And my own story starts the same way as well, which is this sentence that goes something like this. I have been looking for solutions, something that helps me heal, something that helps me move forward for years. There have been countless psychologists, different appointments with psychiatrists, medication, counselors, different therapies, all sorts of things, and nothing really has offered me long-term solutions that last through time. This is the beginning of a story very often that I hear that a lot of women who find their way to the healing room have in common. And like I said, my story the same. Before I found my way to myself, I was looking help from the places where I knew where to look from help. So obviously, doctor's appointments, they sent me to psychologists. I even saw a psychiatrist. I've been prescribed medication a couple of times, I think 3 times, and so on. It's a very, very like a standard story. But why is it so heartbreaking for me to hear these stories from so many people over and over and over again? Is because, first of all, I know what it feels like because I've been there. It's crazy to feel crazy. It's crazy to feel crazy. It feels like I must be that messed up that nothing works for me. Because when you are in this position that you need help, you're not just seeking like the self-development events that make you feel better and you're building your business and you want to like enhance your mindset. This all comes later. But if you are in this position when you truly want help, you need help because you are worried for your well-being, you're worried for how you feel, things are starting to feel pretty dark and hopeless, and you're just so exhausted from feeling anxious for years or decades. And this is the point where people really need something that helps to move the needle for them. And it's, like I said, it's a horrible place to be because it feels like nothing anymore will work, and very often, these every appointment, these people they meet, these different appointments they have, different therapies they try, becomes another thing in the road that didn't work. So that's why it's heartbreaking for me, because I know what it feels like. And another huge reason why this is so heartbreaking for me to hear these stories is because I understand the cost, the real cost along the way. The real cost is not only the time and the money that has gone into it. The real cost of it is the investment of faith that has gone into every single appointment, every single trial of something new. Every single time someone has taken every inch, every shred of their bravery and confidence, and has put towards this one step into the door to see another psychologist or psychiatrist, whatever are these people that they've been seeing. And the investment of faith for me was one of the biggest course along the way personally. And it has been for me a massive source of inspiration for me when I started my own journey as a coach, as a mentor, that I just see this. I've seen it so much myself, and I want to see it through with my clients, that their investment of faith is something that I truly consider. And yeah, it means a lot to me. And I vowed to myself in the very beginning of my journey that I will do my very best so this does not become one of those things in a row that did not work for them. But obviously this doesn't only depend on me, that depends also on the person who is seeking the answers. That depends on their readiness to try something that is not so conventional. And when I speak conventional, this is this very, I guess, common way to say it is this Western medical system. And I want to actually stop on it for a moment, because this seems to be the system that most women have gone through, who have been seeking themselves, seeking the connection, seeking the answers, seeking the love, seeking the emotional healing, all of these beautiful things. Obviously, I've been through this system as well. I've been trying these therapist appointments, like I mentioned. But the thing is, I used to bash this system so much, and I always followed my story along with saying like how it doesn't work, how it offers these solutions that do nothing to people. They are this waste of resources, so on. I truly was like, I guess, angry at the system and disappointed in the system as well. And I guess I had every right to be. But as I am now working in that space myself, I am mentor for women, and I see these stories, hear these stories, and I see what works, what doesn't. And you know what? Every story is so unique. And if that resonates with you, that you have this story as well, that for years you've been looking for solutions, you've been looking for answers, and you've maybe either been or you are in this space at the moment that you are getting very disappointed and angry, or feeling like, oh my gosh, nothing works for me, then there's this thing I would like to drop into this space here today, is that it's my hindsight wisdom about my own journey, and I want to share it with you, because all wisdom doesn't have to be hindsight wisdom. And if that can help you, or even can help one person somewhere out there who stumbles upon this podcast and here's this perspective, maybe it helps them, maybe it helps you. And like I said, I used to bash this system so much and feeling like what the hell is going on? Like, why aren't we getting these results? Why are we expecting just to manage our problems, not to actually heal them, not to truly move on from the problems, not to aim for this full healing? And now looking back though, I have softened a lot in my perspective towards this I guess, medical system and this conventional method, psychologist, psychiatrist, medication. First of all, I'm not against medication at all. A lot of people, when they come in and I ask them, like, can I please ask, are you on medication? When you come in as well, you need to fill out form. And I expect this form to be filled with, truth and honesty. And yeah, I need to know that, because I need to know like where you're at with your story, but it doesn't mean that I'm against it. In fact, I have softened a lot into this into this opinion that I'm not any more angry on anything. It's not about my personal projections, what is my story with the system. In fact, it can help a lot certain people, and that's great. This is amazing. And the fact that I never had the courage, truly, it was about the courage. I didn't have the courage to take medication when I was prescribed some. And there was a certain level of feeling as well, like this is not right. For some reason, I don't know why, I just felt this is not right. And I didn't take it, but also I didn't have the courage to take it because I was scared to like almost feel like what's this going to do to me. And because I was so unsure, and I guess it wasn't really explained to me either, and the whole process of prescribing medication felt so fast, like I mean in a matter of minutes, that it just didn't feel right to me. Something within me, even when I was really young, told me that this is not for me. But it doesn't mean that I have anything personally against it. And yeah, it can be really, really helpful, and that's amazing. Sometimes what we just need is something to take, like actually help us to a certain level or to a certain degree, and take an edge off. And like amazing, if it helps you, beautiful. Just know that the person speaking here, like, oh my gosh, I don't have anything against it at all. And in other ways, how I have now, with certain level of maturity and softness coming through, and of course moving on with my own personal journey as well. Like I said, there's not so many projections anymore. I still have definitely opinions, but I don't have to project my own disappointment towards the system onto every single person I meet and to the whole system. This other point, how I've softened, is like bringing in more trust, that actually every single person, every appointment I've had, every piece of like things that I've learned there have been actually very important part of my healing, of my journey, of my search for answers, for healing, for connection. Because you know what? We learn sometimes more, even in the contrast of what we've offered. Sometimes it's like almost like this process of elimination. If I don't know what I need, what I want, what is for me, then I seek out the ways that, okay, that potentially could be it, but I know instantly this is not it. So it can take a lot of time trialing and erroring and finding out the things that are not for me to finally take me to the things that are for me. So it's kind of like the same process that if you don't know what you want to eat, decide what you don't want, and makes it easier for you. Or whatever things is that you're deciding, this process of elimination. And I feel like now looking back at my own story, I am so grateful for all of these different sessions and different ways I've tried. First of all, I'm grateful for myself that I kept trying and kept looking and kept this search going. I felt there was this drive within me to kind of make it somewhere finally, and I kept following this inner guidance and this knowing that this is taking me somewhere. But obviously it was freaking hard to also like go to these appointments and feel like, okay, I don't really understand like how I'm meant to feel. Is it like, I guess it is working because, you know, I'm going to these appointments nearly every week and I'm paying a lot of money for it. But actually I didn't embody any true healing. But all of this time, it nudged me constantly towards who I am today, towards the methods that worked for me. So if you are going through any of this at the moment, that you're not experiencing really healing, you're not moving forward, nothing seems to move the needle truly forward for you, don't let your standards go. Don't let this kind of get to you in a way that you feel like, okay, nothing's going to work for me. It's not you. Just keep looking for what might work. All you need to stay connected to is this knowing that it will work. One day you will find something that does make the needle move, something that really is speaking your language, something that when you come in contact with that energy, you feel like, oh, this is like a breath of fresh air. You finally get to just lean back and just sigh and feel like this is it. And you will know this moment, you will know this energy just because you have learned what is not for you. And ladies, this is as much of medicine as these things that finally do work for you. You can find yourself in an agreement with someone and in a contrast of someone. Both are equally powerful. So take this journey. Yes, acknowledge your faith and all the resources that you've invested and the energy output that it has taken. You have a right to be pissed, you have a right to be disappointed, you have a right to feel all the feelings, and in fact you should feel all the feelings. But at the same time, it doesn't have to change the truth for you that something will one day be there for you, that you'll stumble upon and you'll know this is for you and this will work, because this is your language. And this is where I kind of made my way to, is realizing this. And this is one reason why my personal, again I repeat, my personal opinion about the conventional methods hasn't softened but has hardened a little bit, is because what I needed is people to freaking stop talking about depression and anxiety to me about. I needed to understand that the conversation needed to be about me. If we are always talking about only anxiety, managing anxiety, how we can get the anxiety symptoms under control, how we can stop triggering anxiety, what level of anxiety did you feel? Did you feel any anxiety today? All of this anxiety, depression. As soon as these labels were on me, they were on me. And at some point, I needed to start questioning kind of everything. And now when I look back, my question is like, okay, labels go on really fast. When do they come off? And this is my beef with the system, and this is my beef with these conventional methods. And again, they have a time and place. Sometimes if a person finds out what's going on with them and having like almost like a diagnosis, or someone explain to them, can be again like also a breath of fresh air, can offer such like explanation, certain level of belonging, certain level of like, almost like, okay, I get it now. That makes sense. Yes. But what's the next step? The goal isn't just to stay into that box. The goal is to move ahead and shift the conversation from these labels, from these boxes, to the person. And I guess that's if you actually think about it, that's wild emotional intelligence we're talking about here. That we give something else for the brain to look for, something else to search for. And this is healing. This is how you are doing as a person. I've had people come through the healing room with crazy amount of diagnoses, that people have been diagnosed to be with disability, and some of the diagnoses being to the point where I don't actually know what they even are. They're beyond from this anxiety and depression. But one thing that these people have not ever actually spoken about, even after about 20, 30 different psychologists and different appointments and different years and years and years of this journeying, let's call it journey, because otherwise I would say a word that I'm not proud of. This one thing that they're not spoken about is themselves. This one thing that they are not used to speaking about is, how are you feeling? No, not how anxious you are. Just tell me, how are you feeling truly? What are the feelings that you can pick? How does your body feel? What are the thoughts going through your mind? What are the sensations in your body? How is your energy level? Things like that. Like, tell me, what's your life like? Tell me how is growing up. Tell me Tell me about yourself. I want to hear your story. I want to hear how you're doing. I want to hear, what are you dreaming about? I want to hear, like, what do you like doing? What do you don't like doing? I want to hear, how do you see the world? How is your inner world? I want to get to know you. I want to talk about you, and I want you to see that the conversation needs to be about you, your emotions, your feelings, your everything yours. Not about these labels and who you are in a context of anxiety, in a context of depression. I want to give you your context back. Who are you in a context of you? What do you like in a context of you? How are you feeling in a context of you, in regards to you in your life? That's what lights my soul on fire. Because yes, okay, we got to speak about anxiety and depression so much that people recognize what we're talking about, because they are common words, right? But then the healing must be about the person. We can't and we shouldn't, why would we staying in this bucket forever, banging around there and not wanting to get out of it? Because what tends to happen is this bucket seems to be like bottomless, gets deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, because we keep re-identifying with everything we hear about anxiety, everything we hear about depression. And that's the beef I still have with the conventional methods. And that's also, as beautiful polarity is, that's also the greatest wisdom that I have taken from my own journey and from these stories I hear from women, the stories that always start in a very similar way, saying it's been years of searching. And finally, when the conversation is shifted to the person, finally, when we're speaking about the person's life experience, their very unique situations, their very unique world view, how their emotions work, how their mind works, what are the thought patterns, what are the behavior patterns. When we're speaking about the person, not anymore about these conditions that they're told they have, the picture starts to change. It starts to shift. The energy of it starts to shift. Everything starts to change. One session, one big puzzle piece at the time. And then the person starts to finally open up and feeling feelings and having things like bringing energy, drive into life. There is this new light coming through, and this is so beautiful, and it feels so different, because almost never has it truly been about the person in their unique context, in their life experience that is so valuable. This is so valuable. And I guess what I want to leave you here today is bring in the trust. Bring in the trust towards your journey. Bring in the trust towards knowing that everything you've been through has not been a waste. Everything you have been through has been somehow down the line for your highest good. You have always made decisions with the best you've got. You've made decisions with the best intentions, with the best knowledge, with the best awareness you've gotten. And this awareness can change. Your chapters will move on. Things will move on. You'll see things differently. Keep looking for answers. There are so many different practitioners, healers, different modalities out there, and one of them will click for you one day. Even if like you can think of like a certain modality at the moment, it feels like it's not for you, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that it couldn't be for you a couple of years later. This is another thing I've seen in my own journey so much. Like for years, I keep saying how much I literally dislike, if not hate, yoga. And yet, here I am in this chapter of my life when I want to soften, I want to slow down. I don't want to be this gym rat who just goes and throws metal around for an hour, 2 hours in the gym. My goal isn't to be the skinniest version of me. My goal is to be my happiest and, most satisfied version of me. I want to be satisfied as a woman. I want to feel pleasure and joy and like this. I want to have this like seductive vibe about me when I think about my life. This is what I truly want, and what can give me this satisfaction is constantly changing. So I'll let it change. And at the moment, I want this yoga. I want the heat in the yoga room. I want this softness and this like quieter, more reflective, gentle. I don't want to hike mountains at the moment. I don't want to do choose fast and freaking eating green salads whole day. I want to take care of myself with the wisdom, with the knowledge I have, and I want to stay on a healthy streak. I want to take care of myself, but like in a way that who I am today as a woman, not like who I used to be and where I want to get back to. No, I'm moving forward all the time. And same is with any type of chapter in your life. Things will move on. You stay connected to the fact that what is that you want. Because another part I've heard ladies say quite often to me is like, well, I don't expect someone to like miraculously, like bring some sort of miracle that like miraculously heals me. Well, yeah, nobody can come and open your brain up and put something in there that you are not receiving for yourself. But also, you have a right to expect results. Expect results, demand them from yourself, from the universe. Be in charge of the energy. If you expect results and you are really deciding that this is for you, I want to move on from wherever you are, I am only available to solutions, then guess what? You'll find the solutions. You will find what you're looking for. So give yourself something that is worth finding to look for. Maybe eventually the time is to shift the conversation from anxiety and depression towards the things we actually want to create, the things we want to call into our life, the things we want to move towards too. Because by the end of the day, very often anxiety is just a concept, a word made up to call the cocktail of emotions we've been suppressing our whole life so far. Depression is just the exhaustion from doing so for such a long time. Huge generalization, yes, but to sum it up, that's what it seems to be a lot. And these other conditions that very often at the moment, I don't want to bring these words here into this space. Currently, I just don't feel for some reason that it's right for me to do so. But if our energy is off and we put a lot of our strength towards battling our feelings, battling our emotions, battling our energy, we become forgetful. We become kind of like a bit erratic. We change, our personality changes because where and how we channel our energy is very often avoiding certain things and trying not to be triggered, and energy goes to holding that surface level tension of anxiousness, and that causes a lot of things down the line for people. So why we would want to spend time on talking about it so much? If it's time for healing, it's time for healing. Let's change the focus, and that is a massive principle of mine, massive value that I have extracted, wisdom that I have extracted from my own journey. And for that, I am so grateful. So I hope today from this episode you picked for yourself as well certain nuggets. But wherever you are, wherever is your readiness, trust that at some point in your life, it will all make sense. Trust that your experience has been worth to you something, because you will make it worth something in the future. Even if you decide, I am glad I did this because I found myself against that. I found myself in the contrast of that. I found out one way that is not working for me, and it took me one step closer towards what is. Huge value. And obviously, if you would like to have a conversation on a deeper level about you, please get in touch. Oh my gosh, please get in touch. And before we finish today, I want to thank you, everyone, for a beautiful feedback for this podcast. I am truly grateful. Today I had my first comment on Spotify come through on one of my episodes, which is also about anxiety. So thank you so much. This is huge for me. Let's light each other up, and if it feels right, share the episodes, share them with people who might benefit from these bit unconventional methods, this different type of language, this different type of approach. We could all sometimes use a bit of a ray of sunshine, I guess, in the moment when we need it. So if you think someone would benefit from these conversations, please share the episodes and tag me in your shares as well. I am eternally grateful to you. In the meantime, stay connected with what you want, stay connected with your energy, stay connected with your dreams, stay connected with the trust towards your journey, trust towards your wisdom, trust towards chapters constantly moving on, you reinventing yourself. Trust it will all come together in a way that you get to just breathe so deeply and feel like, yes, I get it now. Trust. Thank you so much, beautiful wild woman, for tuning in today. I send you so much love and gratitude for being here. Have a beautiful rest of the day. Much love. Bye.